Hello everyone! Decided to do some more underglaze painting and thought I'd share my process with you. I've been starting to make these bowls with the lips on them, so I'm going to attempt to do some writing on the top. I guess I should find my applicator bottle. This is what I use. I know it's backwards. XIEM applicator bottle number 20. And the one I have has the tips in there. I use the yellow one, the number 20. Hope I have enough. I should check this stuff out before I start the video. Anyway, that's the applicator bottle. So I'm gonna do some underglazing on my bisque. This has been bisqued. It's B Mix 5 with grog. So I do sand the edges down to make it a little smoother, especially if I know I'm going to write on it. So most of these are Amaco velvet underglazes, and then I use a zinc-free clear. And lately I've been using the Amaco, which I love. It's this one here. This never clouds up on me. I love this stuff. Sometimes I mix my own. But it's been clouding up on me lately, and you know, when you're mixing glazes, especially clear, you know, the ingredients don't always come from the same place. So, you know, sometimes they can vary a little bit, and I think the new, well, I don't think I'm firing it hot enough to get it to be more clear, to be 100% clear sometimes. I don't like to fire above cone 5.5, 5.5, because cone 6 on the dark clays can make it bloat. So, yes, I'm kind of limited to a cone 5 clear. Anyway, so this is what I'll be doing. Doing some underglazing, and I hope everybody's doing well. You can see it's dark outside. I usually don't start this late, but I don't know, the day just got away from me. We're going on a trip next week. Not a big trip, but we're going to the lake with our pontoon boat, and I was working on that, and this heat, I was so tired I fell asleep in the chair. which is not good, because now I'll be up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna lower this down, and this is just gonna be a simple one. I love to do I call them peonies, so you'll see what I'm talking about, but I'll lower this down. There you go. Hope you can see okay. So I haven't mixed up my glazes yet, so I'm just gonna so after I put these away, I just spray them with a little bit of water. Let's see, let me get my sponge. So yeah, I just spray them with a little bit of water, and then close the lid, and they really don't get too dried out. I don't know about you all, but where we're living here, because I think it's mainly across the entire country, and this heat wave, wow, it is so hot. Even now, I went outside before, and I got just like walking out into a sauna. It's only like, I think 90 degrees or 88 degrees, which, you know, I like the heat, so that's not, you know, too bad for me. But the humidity, whew, that's hard to take. There we go. We'll get these all mixed up. Some of these are just standard underglazes. Some of them I've mixed myself. I have 3 oranges here because I was doing pumpkins. Gosh, that's been a while ago now, but I never used them all up. But it is pumpkin season, so I've got to get busy making. As soon as I get back from vacation next week, I'm going to really kind of hunker down and start doing pumpkins. So you'll see me painting some pumpkins. Let's see. Oh, I didn't. Let's do the oranges. Now, I like when they're dried out a little bit, because then they're a little more concentrated. You can spend a lot of money and buy Amaco's semi-moist underglazes in a tray, but they're very expensive, and you get this tiny little dot of underglaze, and it's rather pricey. That would last me about one week. Okay, so they're all mixed up. Yeah, so some of these are standard turquoise, chartreuse, avocado. I think this royal blue, bright red. That one I made. That one I made. Bright orange. I think it's like bright yellow. I can't remember what yellow that one is, but. And violet. I can't remember what they all are, but this one I made up too. Anyway, okay, so let's see. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a green rim around here, and I actually have one of the really expensive turntables, but it's like so heavy. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to pick it up and down, and okay. So I end up using this cheap cake stand I got at Michael's. I use that more than anything. Okay, so this flows a little better on the rim. I'm actually gonna wet the rim just a little bit. There we go. It's been so hot here. We went to the zoo yesterday. I hadn't been to the zoo in so long. And we got to see our Fiona, which, if you're not familiar with Cincinnati, she was a preemie born hippo. And they weren't sure she was going to make it. And she ended up making it, and she became famous. as anyone who lives in the area knows. But now her mama, Bibi, is getting ready to have a baby. Another hippo, not a baby. And while we were at the zoo, there was a guy standing there, and someone asked him what he was doing, and he said, I'm watching Bibi to make sure she doesn't have this baby without us knowing about it. So apparently she is ready to have the baby any day, which I thought, how exciting would that be if she popped out that baby while we were standing there. But it is just, we have a really nice zoo here in Cincinnati. The hippos, I mean, there was Tucker, the father, and Bibi, the mama, and then Fiona. And they came right up to the glass and just stayed right there, and it was just so neat. Of course, if you follow my Instagram page, you'll see the zillion of videos I put on there. I'm sure people were like, oh, Lisa went to the zoo. But that's okay. The hardest part was that, with the sun out, I really couldn't see what I was even doing. I just kept clicking add a reel to Instagram, and gosh, I don't know what they even look like. kids were hollering in the background, and it was rather noisy, but that's okay. It was fun to see all the little kids there. And then we went to see the tigers, or the lions, and oh my gosh, one came right up to the glass and fell asleep against the glass. It was just, we watched them feed the giraffes, and I love the big animals. The little ones don't interest me as much, which is probably typical, but oh my gosh, those little ones, they are just adorable. Adorable. So as I said, these are all Amaco velvet underglazes. I have really not had any problems with these sticking to the kiln shelf. If you put them on thick enough, they will stick, you know, anything. Because I do usually glaze the bottom. So if you do put your glazes on too thick, they can't stick. But some of the other underglazes, they have a little bit of flux in them, and they will stick a litlittle bit. I was doing my Redbirds, and I was using another brand, and oh my gosh, because when I fire, you know, like 10 Redbirds at one time, I usually just stand them all upside down and they lean up against each other, and they all stuck together. So I had to sand them down and refire them. And so I try to stick to Amaco velvet underglazes. They have more, I think they have more clay based. I just know that they don't have that flux in them that can cause them to stick to the kiln shelf. But yeah, my gosh, it was so hot at the zoo. We my son, he's 37, but he's probably listening to me. Where's he at? Chris? Why is the front door open, honey? It's 120 degrees outside. No, not really. It's not really 120 degrees, but it feels like it. He's got the front door standing open, and I got the air conditioner running. But anyway, he likes to get on the train, and oh my gosh, trying to fit my body into that little train seat, little train car seat. I got in it, but it was pretty difficult getting out. People were like kind of chuckling at me, but you know, I'm sure they felt my pain. But I was getting overheated too. Oh my gosh, it was just, I don't know if I think I was, you know, hadn't drank enough water. I think that was part of my problem. I was probably dehydrated because my husband and my son, you know, they didn't really feel it that bad, but boy, I did. Whew. I had to keep sitting down and drinking something. I was happy to get back in my car and get in the air conditioning. I feel bad for anybody who doesn't have air conditioning with this heat wave going on. If there's anybody watching from England, they were saying that only like 1% of people in England have air conditioning. And gosh, they're having a heat wave over there too. So, as I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is bisqued. I bisque my greenware at cone 04. I really like 04 because it gets a lot of the organic matter out. It burns off a lot of the organic matter. And if you don't burn out that organic matter in the bisque fire, you can have a lot of problems with pinholing in the glaze firing. and you know that's not good. That's a pain in the hiney. So yeah, plus when I glaze fire, I usually try to do at least a 5 or 10 minute hold, and that helps prevent pinholing too, because it allows those little, if there is any organic matter coming out, you have those bubbles in your glaze, it allows time for them to heal over before the cool down in the kiln, and then you don't have those craters, like a volcanic crater, little tiny volcanic craters. Okay. A little bit on this on the rim, smooth this down a little bit. Gosh, I'm not even paying attention. This is in the camera. Jeez, I hope this has been in the camera. So I Bisqueware to cone 04, and I glaze fire to cone 5. And like I said, I usually do a 5 or 10 minute hold. My kiln fires a hot 5, so I'm probably getting to about a 5.5. I don't like to go above that because, like I said, I usually fire the dark clay and the light clay together, and the dark clay can bloat. You can get bubbles in your clay, not the glaze, in the clay itself, and it's called bloating. And you can be really a pain in the hiney. Okay, so get a little bit of red, and let's see. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm mixing up some custom colors here. I'm getting a little bit of red out of here, and I'm going to get a little bit of white in here. And there are some little harder chunks in here just because I did stir it up, and I kind of got some of the crusties off the side. So when I'm done painting, if there's any chunks of underglaze, wait till it dries and then just rub it off. You don't want thick chunks of underglaze or anything because it will not melt like a regular glaze. And then you'll have, let's see, you'll have, it'll come through it'll show through the clear glaze. It'll like pop its little ugly head through the clear glaze. I'm actually going to put a couple of oranges in here, I think. And then, let's see here. I think I'll get this purple too. Put a little purple over here. I'll show you what I've got here, what I've done. Okay, so you can see I've got some violet, some deep purple, reds, oranges, yellows. Not yellows, oranges, different color oranges, and so let's see. I need some more red. I want to be mainly red, kind of like peony. Peonies, you know, they can be all different colors. There we go. So I don't know if I'm use this purple as much as I was going to. I think I'm going to add a little more red. And I'm liking that orange that's coming through there, so I think I'm going to add a little more orange. So, you know, we'll try it out and see what it looks like. Once I fire this, I'll come back and put the picture on the front of the video. But these are going to go back to where I teach. And I'm going to fire them in a kiln there because I have a couple students who didn't finish their work. By the end of the session, So I have like a couple pieces I have to glaze fire in a kiln there, and I don't want to fire just a couple pieces in there. So these are going to go back to where I teach. So anyway, okay, so let's see what this looks like. I'm not seeing a lot of the variation there we go. And I'll hold this up when I love these bowls. I love this flower pattern. It doesn't always come out though how I want it to, which is typical with pottery, right? I think I'm gonna add a little more. I think I'm gonna add a little more orange and some more white. So I can have some highlights in here. So see, I'm just kind of dabbing it in there. I like saving these old lids. So I think I'll put a little bit of this soft violet over here in the corner, so I can steal just a little bit of that for the outsides. See, there's a chunky there. If anybody is ever interested in anything I'm making as far as purchasing it, just let me know and I'll pop it onto my Etsy site. I'm just not very good about adding stuff to it because, well, usually I'm doing a lot of shows, and then by the time I put it onto Etsy, I take the stuff to the show, and then I sell it at the show, then I gotta go back and take it off of Etsy. This year's been kind of weird for me. I haven't done hardly any shows this year. I don't know. I haven't been very good about it. Well, I was sick a little bit, but let's see. So let's add some orange in here. I don't know if you remember one time I did some mugs. That is one of the, ooh, I like that white coming through. I did a whole bunch of mugs with this pattern on there. And all the red, I must have added too much water because all the red burnt out. Do you remember that? And all the flowers were really orange. And you don't want them all to be exactly the same color, right? And I want some of this purple on the outside. But anyway, what I was saying is just let me know if you're interested. I can pop it on there. And it's always interesting what shows up and what doesn't. Because I try to, I always tell my students that you want at least 3 coats. If there's a color you really want to show up, then you better have 3 coats of it. Some don't burn out, like usually the reds don't burn out. Usually the oranges don't burn out. The blues I've had burn out before, and actually fire more purple, which is, I know it's bizarre, but I'm gonna put a little more of this purple in here. play with this, and then I add, you know, the problem is I get carried away, and you just keep painting over and over and over, and you really shouldn't do that. It's hard to know when to stop. Stop! But it's just, you know, I love peonies. I've got a whole bunch out in my front yard. There you go. And I think I'm going to put, let me put this over here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Remember, everything is backwards in this camera, and there's no way I can change that. It's just, I've looked into it, and unless you have some really fancy equipment, I've asked, you know, people if I could somehow reverse it, and what they do is they somehow use a tablet and a phone, but I don't think it really matters. If I was doing a bunch of lettering, it might be different, but okay. Oh, now I gotta do the leaves. Can't forget the leaves, Lisa. So let's set this aside over there. Actually, I'm not gonna put that too far because I need that. So I have some old green here that I used for something else. This has got some blues in it, some yellows, some chartreuse. All it's kind of gooky, but that's okay. I'm going to stir it up. Add a little more water in my trusty little spray bottle. And you really shouldn't be spraying this right over the top of your piece, Lisa. But, you know, you can wipe it off. But, okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the avocado green in there. And I can see there's a little bit of blue in there. And I'm going to add, I got my paper towels here to the side to clean my brush off a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. There we go. Maybe a little more. I love this soft yellow. I think that's, I don't know if I've got, that is, this is what that yellow is. It's just plain yellow, I think. Which is, you gotta be careful. This is one that has some flux in it. So if you're putting it on the bottom, just add a minimal amount. I'm gonna have to add some water in here so I can get the rest of that out of there. I'm getting low. Our local clay supplier, though, wow, I went out there last week, and oh my gosh, the shelves were full. I was buying up all the clear and a whole bunch of colors. Gosh, I get myself in trouble going out there. Okay, so I'm going to add some, let's see, I'll put this here so you can see that. So let's see, I'm going to put a leaf here. Kind of smushing the colors around together so I don't have I don't really want one color. I think this one's going to go up on onto the rim a little bit. So I'm going to add a touch of the straight, actually I want to add a touch of the blue to darken it so you can see where that's at. There you go. So it shows up on there. My doggies are being so good. I don't know where they are, but usually they're in here walking around, and I don't know if you realize it, but the last video, oh my gosh, I was having problems with my dog Ernie, who is almost 16 years old. I forget what was happening, but I don't know if you realize, but he actually threw up on my foot while I was doing the video. I think I started laughing. Oh my gosh. Oh, goodness sakes. Oh. You gotta love them, right? I am an animal lover. I try to watch out for the baby birds we have out front. Although we've got these bad old snakes come up. Ugh, I hate to kill anything, but we're getting too many snakes. Okay, so let's see. I think that looks kind of pretty. Pretty. We actually have this this big old fat raccoon. We've got these video cameras. You know, everybody's got this blink. Ours are blink cameras, but sometimes people have the door cameras, door cams, or whatever they're called. We have this video camera out by our side door, and the thing kept going off at night. Well, I noticed my flower pots were getting turned over, and the flowers were getting smashed. And I like my flowers, so I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And then I noticed, so we turned the video camera to look where the flowers were to see what was happening. And we caught this big old fat raccoon climbing up over the fence to get into the garbage can. Oh my gosh, it was funny. I'm waiting for him to get stuck in the garbage can, and then I'll open the garbage can lid and it'll scare the crap out of me. Oh goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple. A lot of times I don't do money outside, but I don't know, it just seems kind of plain with just the leaves on the outside. What do you think? Since I did see how I trimmed the bottom? I don't know if you can tell, it's got these grooves in it, so I could do a flower here, but I don't think I'm going to, since I think I'll just do a leaf here. Since I'm doing them on the side, I think that would be too much stuff going on, don't you? I ended up with an even number. I don't like that. I think what I'll do is add just a baby one here. Just a little bud. You don't really want even numbers of things when they always say that in, when you're designing something, or I add a little more orange. I really like that orange. I gotta remember to hold this in front of the camera. So as soon as this is dry, I will put a clear Amaco HF9 zinc-free clear over it. Now some people don't think it really matters if you use a zinc-free or not. And, you know, honestly, I don't know. I used to use glaze, clear glaze with zinc in it. I don't know that I ever noticed a difference, to be honest, but they say it does alter some of the colors. I mean, Amazon even says, jeez. Amaco Amaco says it on their website to use, you know, zinc free, so that's what I try to do. You probably can't see me. I'm mixing colors here. I'm trying to get some of that orange. I don't know if they look more like poppies or peonies. They can look like roses too, I guess. I like the old roses that smell so good. These new ones don't smell very much. They just don't smell very much. They have no scent. Like, what was that? Knockout roses, yeah. They kind of look like little. I've had cherry tomatoes on my mind lately. I love cherry tomatoes. Look at that! Looks like a little baby cherry tomato. I have to keep my dog Sophie out of them though. She goes in there, eats the tomatoes off the tomato plant, and then I don't get any. I think she thinks she's a goat. Keep telling her she's not a goat, she's a dog, but she doesn't listen to me very well. She doesn't listen at all, really. She's kind of spoiled. She eats all the her and my other little dog ate all the strawberries, and they trampled them, so I don't have strawberry plants anymore. I used to have a big garden. I used to grow squash and zucchini and tomatoes and cucumbers and watermelon, tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. But now the trees have grown up so much around our house that it's too much shade. So now I'm trying to put them in pots out in my front yard. But they don't really like being in pots. They really want to be in the ground. The orange ones are the best. Oh my gosh, those things are so good. They're like candy, these orange ones. I think this is going to turn out pretty. I love using underglazes. They're much more stable than regular glazes. You usually pretty much know how it's going to turn out. I mean, they darken, and they can burn out a little bit. So you kind of take that into account. But I don't know. They're much. They don't run, and like I said, they turn out pretty much how you think they're going to turn out. And it's kind of instant gratification too, because you paint them on here, it already looks pretty. I mean, this is, you know, kind of like what you see is what you get for the most part. Which is fun, rather than paint with regular glazes and everything's gray and brown. And so there's what it looks like so far. So now I get to do the fun part, which, oh, I almost forgot my little yellow, I'm forgetting what, pistils, is that what these are called? I don't think they're stamens, are they? The little yellow dots in here that come out of the peony. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go back. I think that's dry. Take a drink of my Diet Coke. Next week I'm going to the lake, like I said, and I'll have some reels and some pictures and videos of that. We go down to Lake Cumberland down in Kentucky, and it is so much fun. The lake is just beautiful. It's one of the almost largest lakes in the country. And it's so deep that it's usually really clear. Let's see if I can get the pin out of here. I use jet black Amaco Underglazes. I'm gonna put my name on there. Jet black, and I add just a little bit of water in my Zyam applicator bottle. And the water just makes it flow better. And it really is, I don't know, you have to really do it. It's a trial and error thing to decide how much water you want to put in there. If you turn the bottle upside down and it drips out, you've added too much. And if it keeps globbing up, you haven't added enough, obviously. But sometimes, it's rare, really, but I will take it out if it keeps globbing up and keeps clogging. I have one of these little mesh. I guess it's for glaze bottles, regular glaze bottles. And if your glaze gets chunky, just run it through this mesh, and it'll really take the chunks out of your glaze. And it also it's great for this because it'll get all the little particles, because any little hard particle in here will clog it up. But I really don't have too much of a problem. Let's see, let's bring it down just a little more so you can see. So always test it first. And I have a sponge. I have a wet sponge on a little, just a little lid here, and that I clean it off with that too. So whenever you start doing this, I never start as much as I've done it. I don't start on the inside, because if you make a mistake, you're gonna want to do it on the back, right? Till you get the hang of it. It's just like when you start throwing again, you know, the first couple pieces you throw aren't going to look that great until you get in the rhythm. Okay, so I'm going to This is one of my favorite patterns, favorite flowers to do. Okay, so now let's see here. Let's lay this down here. So where I'm stopping, I'm just going to put 3 little dots. There we go. All right. So there's the bottom side done. Sometimes they look so pretty just like this. I almost hate to put the clear over them. I've tried the satin clear before, and I don't know, it was okay. I thought about going back to that. Oh, well, Lisa, you're gonna need to bring that back. I don't really worry about it being too perfect because it's handmade, and I want it to look handmade. I really don't want it to look like you bought it at the department store. Okay, so now I'm going to do the inside here. Always pull your applicator away from you. That's why these flowers are kind of, when you're going around in circles, they like to clog up the applicator tip. So hold it flat, like don't try and hold it like this. Hold it as low as you can. That kind of helps. It helps you from digging the tip into the underglaze and clogging it up. Now you could do this on greenware and then fire it and then put your black liner on and then clear it and re-fire it. Some people like doing that, and that's fine too. I don't know. I don't like putting underglaze on greenware because, oh, I don't know. Sometimes if you put a lot of water and moisture on there, I've had problems with it, the greenware cracking. And then if you're trying to wipe something off, you can't really wipe it off because it gets into the clay. So I don't know. I prefer to put it on Bisqueware, but you can definitely put it on greenware. I have not had problems. This is kind of a common question. Like I said, once this is dry, I will apply this, and you can use the Amaco stoneware too, clear. But I apply this, and I think it's really important, as I've mentioned before, your brush. Brushes are very important. Now to do the designs, I use cheap brushes. I just buy these at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Michael's or anywhere. I don't think you need good brushes to do the design. But when you're putting on the clear, this is a Amaco number 8. What's it say? Soft fan. says CB618, but it's a number 8 Mako. But see how soft it is? It holds a lot of glaze. So you want to get this in there, get a lot of glaze on it so that you're not, I see people in there, just going every which direction. You don't need to do that. Just get it in the clear, put it on, let it dry. Put one coat on, put one liberal, gentle coat of clear on and let it dry. Then put your second coat on and you're done. Do not put 3 coats on unless your clear is really, really thin. Sometimes I'll thin mine out a little bit, but you gotta be really careful because if you thin your clear out, that water will mess up your underglaze. It can smear it if you're using a runny underglaze. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few writings on here. I don't know, what should I write on here? I always put love because love is important, right? Put love in there, then we'll put share. We'll put food. Food's going in here, right? Probably. Food. How about friends? All these things that are important. Oh my gosh, I just spelled friends wrong. Lisa, I before the E. So, here we go. I have to take that out of there. There we go. So see, if you make a mistake, as soon as I put that E there, I knew that was wrong. So what I'm going to do is go back to the green. That should be okay. It'll be just fine. Okay, so let's see. I'll come back when that's dry. Love, share, food, friends. How about faith? Faith in yourself, faith in your friends, faith in whatever. Faith. When peace. I have one word. Peace. Peace. I think I'll do peace here. I pray for peace every day. We need peace in this world. Okay, and then I think hugs. I need a little word here. Hugs. Hugs sounds good. Hugs are always good. My mother was never a hugger when I was growing up. Then when I got married, my husband's family, they were big huggers. It was like, wow. You don't know what you're missing until you get it. I didn't know people hugged like that. And my mom was quite strict. I think her mother was too, this old Catholic Germans. I was pretty strict though. Okay, so I think I am done. Look at that. Let me bring it back a little bit. Well, you can see the writing, so it's not, you know, it's not perfect, but that's okay. It's handwritten, and people like that. Oh, I gotta fix friends. There we go. Looks a little darker because it's wet, but so there's, I'm gonna be careful I don't smear anything. I'm gonna show you the back again. So there's the back. I really like this bowl. This turned out really pretty. Yeah, I guess you can see that. So this, you know I don't have the finished product here, but it'll look pretty much just like this, only shiny and a little brighter. Where'd that friends go? It's still kind of wet, but I fixed it. So that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I don't know if your Facebook has updated or not, but I've had my Facebook update, and I've had a lot of problems with replying to messages through Facebook. Like once I reply, it won't let me click back on that person. And then sometimes the messenger button doesn't even work. So I don't know if anybody else has had any problems with their messenger, but anyway, but this is on YouTube. I haven't had too many problems with YouTube. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please share it and hit subscribe and like it. That helps me with the algorithms and, you know, however they decide where the videos show up, I guess. So, but I appreciate it, and I hope you all are doing well, and stay cool and all that good stuff, and have fun painting, right? All right. I'm back. I got this new phone, and I have one of these big cases on there. Let me see if I can put this back in here. And it doesn't stay on this tripod very well. You know how expensive these phones are, right? And shaking you up and down like shake and bake. Now I'm really dating myself, aren't I? Yeah, so I got one of those, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, the case doesn't fit in the new tripod very well, so it fell off. Anyway, like I was saying, have a good night and take care, and thank you for watching, and thanks for all the kind comments. You guys are so sweet. It really is, you know, it's a boost, you know, and people, because you know how we're all hard on ourselves. As artists, we're all picky, you know. When I open the kiln, it's like nothing's ever good enough, and you know, we always try to be so hard on ourselves, and I'm getting all emotional. I don't know why. Just my bad. Anyway, have a great night. Cheer up, have fun. Thanks.